Tensions are rising in the Pacific as the U.S. and China flex their military muscle right now. 30,000 troops from the United States, Australia, and 11 other nations uniting for 2 weeks of military war games. It's a massive show of force held every 2 years called Talisman Sabre. But this year, it's the largest since the United States and its allies started these drills back in 2005. Meanwhile, Taiwan kicked off its annual invasion readiness drills today. And over the weekend, China sent dozens of warplanes, Navy ships toward the island ahead of these yearly drills, which simulate a Chinese invasion. Let's dig into this more with Mark Esper, who served as U.S. Secretary of Defense during the Trump administration. Secretary Esper, thanks for being with us. It's the largest ever Talisman Sabre exercise. It's underway right now, as I just mentioned off the top. Would you explain a little bit further, what are these war games and what is it that the U.S. and its allies are hoping to accomplish from them?
So these are exercises that began many years ago, as you mentioned, between the Australians and the United States, and it's meant to increase our effectiveness and interoperability and improve our warfighting capability. And of course, it has the benefit of deterring Chinese bad behavior and signaling the importance of our relationship with Australia. The interesting part of this is that when it first began many years ago, it was just the Australians and the United States. And today, as you mentioned, it includes 13 total countries. To include Japan, you got observers from India, and it just shows that the Chinese aggressiveness in the region and their policies under Xi Jinping have really created a lot of concern in the Indo-Pacific about what China is up to. And it's really pulling together, banding together like-minded countries around the United States and Australia and other Western democracies to push back on China and send a message of resolve.
And speaking of China, they apparently have a ship, right, monitoring these exercises off the Australian coast. When you hear that, how concerned should we be about that and their ability to monitor allied military capabilities?
I'm not that concerned. That's routine. They monitor exercises. They monitor United States exercises. We monitor them. You know, that's not unusual. But again, their assertions, what they're trying to do in the region. I mean, one thing you didn't mention is just this weekend in the Sea of Japan, you had a major exercise by Russia and China, a naval and maritime exercise. So anyways, they're conducting their own activities as well. And as you also addressed, Taiwan begins its annual exercises this week as well.
Yeah, and with those annual anti-invasion drills that you just mentioned for Taiwan, China has warships in that area too, has sent jets towards Taiwanese airspace. I guess my question for you there is, can Taiwan adequately even defend itself against a Chinese invasion if that happens?
They can certainly improve their defensive capability and deter China if they do a number of things. I was in Taiwan last year. I'll probably be going back soon as well. And when I spoke to President Tsai and her cabinet, it's things like extending conscription for a year, which they've done, increasing their defense budget, which they're doing, adopting a strategy that would resemble how Ukraine is fighting off the Russians, buying U.S. military hardware like Javelins and Stingers and HIMARS and things that can push back. There are a number of things they need to do. In some ways, they are doing it. In other ways, they need to make improvement. But that could help improve their deterrent capability. And then you have to wrap around that the United States support of partners and allies in the region like the Japanese, the Koreans, and others. All these things can help deter conflict in Taiwan by China, which we've seen increasing its operational tempo, at least certainly over the past year.
Yeah, and similar to Ukraine, I'm sure would need a pretty remarkable counteroffensive there if that were to happen. Secretary Esper, thanks so much as always.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.